Hi everyone. Welcome to day three and a very exciting session that we have. I'm just going to give you a quick introduction to the host of this webinar, the founder and principal architect of Studio Nishita Kamdar. Nishita completed her bachelor's in architecture from KRVIA Mumbai. She's also the founding partner at Pod Pieces of Desire. You can check out needapod.com, which caters to bespoke furniture pieces. Nishita interned in Mumbai, Switzerland, and also won the Charles Correa Gold Medal for Design Dissertation for her thesis, The Eyes of the Skin, in 2012. Studio Nishita Kamdar is an award-winning multidisciplinary design practice started in Mumbai in November 2014. They design every project with an extremely passionate eye and believe in the simplicity of design to create beautiful, complex spaces which appeal to its social and physical context. Multifunctional, high on utility, and sensitive to the requirements of the end user. Nishita believes that architecture should indeed not only look beautiful, but also feel beautiful and appeal to the other senses of the human being. The studio is engaged in both architectural as well as interior design projects. They enjoy doing holiday homes, standalone architecture projects, residential interiors, as well as commercial spaces. Nishita is a visiting faculty at KRVIA Mumbai, which includes her guiding and mentoring students on how to realize projects and build concepts. And that's precisely the topic for today. Tips from real life, concept to creation by Nishita Kamdar. Nishita, take it away.
Hi, Aditya. Thank you so much for the introduction. So guys, everyone, I'm Nishita Kamdar, architect and designer. I'm also the co-founder of POD, an artisan-driven furniture company and a visiting faculty at CEPT and Kamla Raheja. The very first roadblock that we face as designers is when you take up a project is coming up with that first eureka moment of an idea, that concept, that big thing, that driving force, which is our first kind of test as a designer, in this project, so I'm just going to start sharing my screen now because we've kind of made a presentation on this, and I'm going to take you through that. Just tell me if you guys can see it.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, great.
We can see the first slide.
Okay, great. So, in this particular project, there was always this questioning about, what is the interior of a space and the confines of a room, and what is, the outside, there's this amazing thing about design that it has this ability to create a new social pattern and bring about a change in your day-to-day life. And once you see the power of design and what it can do, you'll never be able to unsee it. The project only involved us, all we did was a very simple act of opening up the solid kitchen and dining room walls and replacing them with flexible glass and metal shutters. And this brought about a complete change in the family's behavior with each other. Now the wife was no longer confined to a box and a room of the kitchen, but she could in fact be in the kitchen, do all her duties, as well as talk to her husband who was in the living room, and probably even look over the grandparents who were having dinner on the table, talk to her son, and this for me was that big concept and the big kind of success of the project. For me, that was a big move in the project itself. So well-designed spaces aren't always about aesthetics and taste. They shape their ideas about who we are in the world and what we deserve. And this is the opportunity of design. It gives us our most deserved space in this kind of world, Moving on from an interior project that we had done with a very kind of social concept in mind, going to a project that we were commissioned to do in Nagpur, which was designing a set of work tables for an office. Again, we're moving from interior to a product scale here, and it's again like it's a work desk. When we got the project, we're like, how do we conceptualize this? As in, it's just a mundane work desk. Starting off, inspiration can be from anywhere. There have been buildings that have been inspired by gherkins, by a bird's nest, by flowers, almost anywhere. You can get inspiration from anywhere. For us, in this project, the inspiration was a small little centipede we found crawling on site during our very first visit to see the place. This tiny little insect with feather-like tiny legs. It almost looked like someone was trying to run away or rather crawl away from this space. Typically, what we also feel, when we're in an office, we want to just get out of the office, at 6 o'clock. So soon this absolutely silly idea became a concept. It became From the concept, it became a sketch, and then it developed into a full-blown furniture piece, and that's how the Centipede Table was born. The notion of a conventional table with a flat top supported on four legs seemed extremely mundane to us, and with this project, we tried to break the conventional idea of a work table with an extremely silly inspiration idea that we just saw on site. The world of design is that being said, the world of design is purely human centered, where the focus is always on the user and the person who's going to be using the space or the product. And architecture is a form maker, problem solver, and an environment creator. Product design is the very same thing, but at a micro level, where the engagement of the user makes pivotal, it's a very important factor while designing product. And therefore, no matter what the concept is, you have to make sure that the product is user friendly. Moving on from product design, we're talking about your ability or your scope of design. Restraint in design is a virtue, the quality of holding yourself back and implementing something which solves the problem in the simplest possible way. Often we designers get so carried away, producing work that is good, but losing simplicity and elegance. Let's just take the simple example of an iPhone. It's the most obvious kind of example. It's obvious because it's so good about, with its design. The iPhone uses the minimal design possible. There is one button, and the whole phone is essentially just one big display, one rectangle and one circle, and that's how simple the arrangement of the entire iPhone is. Keeping it simple is always the key. Retail design, again, a place where restraint is absolutely essential. When does the architect draw the line so that the visual design takes a backseat and the focus still remains on the products that are being sold, still ensuring you're telling the brand story through your design? The fashion brand Limerick that we designed a store for identifies itself with inspiration drawn from nature, wildlife, birds, the use of bold colors, prints, patterns, and textures. Their mood board is almost like a whimsical scene from Alice in Wonderland, where the customer, being Alice, is stepping into a mystical world of an enchanted forest through narrow cobbled paths and getting enticed, seeing these beautiful birds, bees, trees around her, and this very simple kind of narrative, for us, soon became the concept, and this became the driving force for us, and instantly transformed into a design language for us. And this always happens, I feel, in an office when you're kind of designing, the idea of concepts, the idea of simplicity, the idea of strong kind of intents only happen when you have the ability to kind of hold back, you have the ability to empathize with your users, you have the ability to listen to the users, critique your own design, make the mistakes and correct them, learn and unlearn and again learn, constantly share, work together and collaborate. It's just part of this large ecosystem that we all grow in. I'd like to end with a lovely quote which says, every good design begins with an even better story. So thank you for listening to mine.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Nishita. I
Awesome.
think we've covered everything, the best of your work, the best of Studio Nishita Kamdar, from interiors to product to retail store to architecture. These are all fantastic projects. And I love that, that first project that you showed us, it started with real life problem, right?
Yeah,
And then architecture and design can be the solution to it. And that's the whole point.
exactly.
And I also love the fact that you spoke about how once you see the power of design, you'll never be able to unsee it,
Unsee it. That's
right?
true. That's so true.
And just that one slide itself was so powerful. It just had three phrases: user friendly, user friendly, user friendly,
Yeah,
and how that sort of followed on into how maybe the user can be Alice. Can
right.
you see that? Can you, put that user profile in mind and design a
Right.
store?
Right.
And you know, speaking of inspiration, if a centipede can be the inspiration, product design and furniture design, inspiration can come from anywhere.
Anywhere.
Get asked this question all the time, and guys, you have your answer here. Inspiration can really come from anywhere. So yes, that was, as somebody's just commented, a very insightful storytelling session.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Aditya and Ritika.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you everyone for attending.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.